Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Arrahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami dan kasihlah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami dan negara kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Walhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Okey, alhamdulillah kita bersyukur kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Pada pagi ini kita dapat bersama sekali lagi dalam kelas kita ya. Jadi kalau kita ikutkan, ini adalah merupakan kelas yang terakhir lah untuk semester ni Okey. Dan saya juga ingin mengucapkan selamat Hari Raya Aidiladha kepada semua. Okey. Jadi pada kelas yang lepas, iaitu pada hari Ahad, kita tak dapat buat kelas. Tapi saya ada bekalkan video video yang saya buat kelas pada hari Selasa Untuk iaitu video tu adalah video saya discuss satu set soalan satu set soalan semester lepas, dan boleh refer lah pada video tu. Saya tengok dari segi view untuk video tu masih tak banyak lah, maknanya ramai yang belum tengok lagi video tu. Okey, jadi pada hari ini kita nak bincang satu soalan sekurang-kurangnya lah satu soalan daripada soalan Consolidated Statement of Cash Flow daripada soalan semester yang lalu iaitu daripada soalan setahun yang lepas, Julai semester Julai, peperiksaan Julai 2021. Jadi kita tengok soalan sama-sama. Okey, ini soalan dia. Okay, Pandan has several investment in subsidiary and associate entities. The consolidated statement of financial position of the group as at 31st December 2019 and 2018 are shown as follows. So kita diberikan dua set statement of financial position. Jadi kita analyse sekali lalu kita analyse. Kita tengok di sini. Okey. 2018 adalah opening balance, 2019 adalah closing balance. Okey. So kita tengok property plant equipment increase from 714 to 792 to 972. Goodwill also increase. So goodwill increase ni, this is an indication that the company may have purchased subsidiary. Okay. And then patent also increase. Investment in associate increase a bit, sikit saja. Investment property increase significantly. Inventories increase also, trade receivable also increase a bit. Bank increase by 6 million. Short-term investment increase from 0 to 10 million. And then ordinary share capital also increase. General reserve remain. Retained profit increase by about 50 million. Non-controlling interest increase by about 100 million. Okay, banyak tu. Debenture from 0 to 25 million. Trade payable from 2.9 million to 9.7 million. Bank overdraft also increased by 5 million. Tax payable increased by about 1.05 million. Interest payable increased by 1 million. Okay, so you can see a lot of increase here. Yeah, from opening balance to closing balance. Ada banyak increase di situ. Seterusnya, additional information. On 1st March 2019, Pandan Berhad acquired 60% of the ordinary shares in Kenanga Berhad by issuing ordinary shares worth 130 million. 1 Mac 2019 Jadi kita tengok statement ni. Statement of financial position ni adalah 31st December 2019 dan 18. Okay, acquisition yang baru ni adalah 1 Mac 2019. So apakah komponen asset dan liability of the new company iaitu Kenanga ni? Okay. So Kenanga holds property plant equipment 200 million, inventories 1.6 million, trade receivable 1.75 million, bank 2.9 million, trade payable 0.2 million and tax payable 0.05 million. Okay, bear in mind that trade payable and tax payable are credit balance. Okay, so credit dia negatif lah ataupun in bracket ya. Okay. During the year, Pandan Berhad acquired 40% interest in a new associate, Malim Berhad, for a cash consideration of 25 million. Tadi masa dia beli Kenanga, berapa juta dia bayar? Dia beli Kenanga 130 juta. Sekarang ni dia beli apa? Pandan 25 juta. Okay. Number 3, administrative expense include a depreciation charge of 12.5 million. The non-controlling interest in Kenanga is measured at fair value and it was valued at 90 million on the date of acquisition. Okay. Short-term investment qualify as cash equivalent. Kemudian number 6, the consolidated statement of profit or loss of Pandan Berhad in the year 31st December 2019 is as follows. Turnover 565, cost of sale 226, gross profit 339, dividend from other investment 7.54, admin expense 162.99, sales and distribution cost 94.5, finance cost 1.5 million, share of profit 1.25 million, profit before tax 88.8, taxation 2.8, and profit for the year is 86 ya. Okey. Jadi kat sini kita nampak taxation ni sepatutnya ada bracket kat situ. Okey. Jadi profit for the year is 86. Okay, and then profit attributable to shareholders of the parent 64 and non-controlling interest is 22. Required A, calculate the goodwill or bargain purchase on the acquisition of Kenanga Berhad. Kenanga is the new company ataupun new subsidiary. Dan yang kedua B, prepare the consolidated statement of cash flow of Pandan Berhad for the year ended 31st December 2019 using the indirect method. Okay. Jadi pertama sekali kita nak calculate goodwill. Kita nak calculate goodwill based on acquisition of Kenanga ni. Acquisition of Kenanga tadi consideration transfer is 130 million. Kemudian fair value of non-controlling interest is 90 million. Yang lain-lain tu kita kira. Okay. So kita nak dapatkan goodwill ni berapa banyak. Okay. So kita tengok jawapan dia. Okay. Jadi kita calculate dulu kita punya goodwill berapa banyak. Okay, Citi ordinary share capital 130 million plus non-controlling interest 90 million. Total fair value of investment is 220 million. Less fair value of net asset of subsidiary according to the list just now. Property, plant, equipment 200 million. Inventory is 1.6 million. Trade receivable 1.75 million. Bank 2.9 million. Trade payable 0.2 million and tax payable is 0.05 million. Okay. So fair value of net asset is 206. Fair value of investment is 220 minus 206 equal to 14. So goodwill is 14. The goodwill is 14. Next. We are going to prepare the consolidated statement of cash flow. Start with cash flow from operating activities. Okay. Cash flow from operating activities. Okay, we are going to start with profit before taxation. From the question, the profit before taxation is 88.8 million. 88.8 million. And then we need to adjust for a few things that has already been given in the question. For example, depreciation is given. Depreciation. So depreciation we have to add back. Depreciation of 12.5 million. And then we have to minus the share of profit of associate. 1.25. We have to add back finance cost 1.5. And we have to deduct the dividend from investment. Okay. So we get a 94.01 operating profit before changes in working capital. Operating profit before changes in working capital 94 million and 100. 94 million, 94.01 million. Okay. And then we adjust for changes in working capital. Changes in working capital. So the working capital comprised of 3 items: inventories, trade receivable, and trade payable. Okay, so let's look at the balance of the 3 accounts at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. Kita tengok ya. Okay, we start with inventories. We start with inventory. The inventory balance brought down is 10 and carried down is 26.5. Brought down 10, carried down 26.5. And then we have acquisition of subsidiary during the year that brings 1.6 million inventory to the group. Okay, 1.6 million inventory to the group. So when we compare the credit balance and the debit balance, the carried down is 26.5, but the debit side is only 11.6. 11.6. How do we get 11.6? 10 plus 1.6. So what is the difference? The difference is the balancing figure is 14.9 million. The balancing figure is 14.9 million, and this 14.9 million is actually is actually increase. Increase in inventories. Increase in inventories. So increase in inventories is outflow, 14.9 million outflow. So we put here outflow. Increase in inventory as outflow, 14.9 million. Okay, 14.9 million. Are you okay, class? And then secondly, we look at the trade receivable. So what is the opening balance and closing balance of trade receivable? Trade receivable, the opening balance is 21 and the closing balance is 22.25. Yeah, the brought down is 21 and the carried down is 22.25. Okay, and we have acquisition of subsidiary here. Okay, acquisition of subsidiary, and the subsidiary brings 1.75 million trade receivable to the group. So 21 plus 1.75. 21 plus 1.75 is equal to 22.75. But the carried down balance is only 22.25. So there is a difference of 0.5 million. There is a difference of 0.5 million here in credit side. So it is regarded as decrease. Regarded as decrease in trade receivable. So when the trade receivable decrease, it means it is cash inflow. So the amount of cash inflow is 0.5. 0.5. So we put here 0.5 million as inflow. Right? 0.5 million as inflow. Okay. Decrease in trade receivable. And lastly, for the changes in working capital, we are going to look at the trade payable. Okay, opening balance and closing balance as well as increase during the year. Okay, kita tengok trade payable. Trade payable, opening balance is 2.9. Okay, and then the subsidiary brings 0.2 million. 0.2 million trade payables. Okay, and the carried down balance is 9.7 million. So we can see that the balancing figure is in the credit side. So there is an increase. There is an increase in trade payables. There is an increase in trade payable. So increase in trade payables is cash inflow. So we put as inflow 6.6 million. Okay, 6.6 million here as inflow. So 94.01 minus 14.9 plus 0.5 plus 6.6 equal to 86.21 cash generated from operations. Cash generated from operation. Okay, we are not finished yet. Okay, we are going to check the interest paid and tax paid. Okay, interest paid and tax paid. Okay, let's look at the balance of interest and tax. Okay, just now we have added the finance cost 1.5 million, finance cost for the year, but we do not know what is the actual amount of interest paid and tax paid. Okay, until we check the opening balance and closing balance of interest payable and tax payable. Okay, jadi interest payable dengan tax payable tadi, kita kena tengok opening balance dan closing balance dia. Okay, so the opening balance of interest payable is 3 million. The opening balance of interest payable is 3 million. And the closing balance is 4 million. Kan? Ada increase tu daripada 3 million kepada 4 million. Okay. Tetapi kita kena tengok juga kat sini, from SOPL there is a 1.5 million increase in interest payable. So 3 million plus 1.5 million equal to 4.5 million. However, the carried down value is only 4 million. It means there is a payment of 0.5 million. Okay, jadi 0.5 million is payment of interest. Payment of interest 0.5 million here. Okay, so kita anggap dia sebagai outflow, interest paid. Dan untuk tax payable, balance brought down 1.5 million. Balance carried down 2.5 million. And don't forget, we have acquisition of subsidiary that brings tax payable of 0.05 million. And the tax payable from SOPL is 2.8 million. So when we add the three together, 1.5 plus 0.05 plus 2.8, it is equal to 4.35. Whereas the carried down balance is only 2.55. So 4.35 minus 2.55 equal to 1.75. Yeah, balancing figure. So it means the amount of tax paid is 1.75. So just now, interest paid is 0.5 and tax paid is 1.75. Okay, that amount we put in our statement of cash flow here under the cash generated from operations minus interest paid 0.5 million minus tax paid 1.75 million, and from there we know that net cash inflow from operating activities is 83.96 million. Okay, 83.96 million. Next, we are going to analyze the cash flow from investing activities. So what are the items from investing activities? Okay, investing activities deals with items, yeah, like purchase of property, plant, equipment, disposal of property, plant, equipment, purchase of subsidiary, disposal of subsidiary, purchase of associate, disposal of associate. Okay, kemudian dividend from associate. Jadi, okay, kita tengok kat situ, investing activities. Jadi item number one, okay, item number one is, okay, acquisition of property, plant and equipment. Yeah, acquisition of property, plant, equipment. How do we know whether there is an acquisition of property, plant, equipment? We have to check the property, plant and equipment account. We look at the opening balance and closing balance and whatever movement in the property, plant and equipment. So we can see from here that the opening balance of property, plant, equipment from the statement of financial position is 714.9 and the closing balance is 972.5. Okay. At the same time, we are also given the information that there is a depreciation of 12.5 million. At the same time, we also know the information about acquisition of subsidiary that brings 200 million property, plant and equipment to the group. Okay. So those are the figures that we have already got the information. Okay. So 972.5 plus 12.5 is equal to 985. Okay. Whereas 714.9 plus 200 is equal to 914.9. So there is a difference between 985 and 914. And the difference is 70.1 in the debit side of property, plant, equipment. So that balancing figure is regarded as purchase of property, plant and equipment amounting to 70.1 million. Okay, 70.1 million. So 70.1 million we brings here to cash flow from investing activities, 70.1 million outflow. And then number two, we have acquisition of subsidiary. In acquisition of subsidiary, we know that the company is paying 130 million. Company is paying 130 million. Okay, but how much cash the subsidiary brings to the group? Okay, how much the subsidiary brings cash to the group? Jadi kita kena tengok acquisition of subsidiary tadi, berapa banyak yang subsidiary bawa masuk dia punya cash ke dalam group. Kita tahu bayaran dia sebanyak 130 juta. Ya. Kalau kita tengok daripada soalan tadi, dia bayar sebanyak 130 juta. Okay. Kemudian dia bawa masuk tunai sebanyak 2.9. Sekejap ya, kita tengok. 130 juta tu dia bayar dengan apa? 130 juta dia bayar dengan share. Jadi tak masuklah. Ya. 130 juta tadi dia bayar dengan share. Jadi dia tidak melibatkan tunai langsung. langsung tidak melibatkan tunai. Jadi 130 ni kena padam. Langsung tidak melibatkan tunai. Pembelian dia hanya merupakan pembelian dengan menggunakan saham sahaja. Jadi acquisition of subsidiary tadi kosong tolak 2.9. Tolak 2.9. Jadi sebenarnya 0.29 2.9 ni adalah merupakan the amount that coming in. The amount that coming in from the subsidiary. Kita tak bayar dengan tunai, kita bayar 130 juta dengan saham. Pada masa yang sama kita dapat tunai daripada subsidiary sebanyak 2.9 juta. Jadi acquisition of subsidiary is positive 2.9 million. Okay, 2.9 million. Walaupun saya letakkan tadi kosong tolak 29, 2.9. Kosong ni adalah tunai yang dibayar, tak ada. Tunai masuk 2.9. Ya. Ataupun kalau kita nak terbalikkan, boleh juga. 2.9 tolak kosong. Okay. Kemudian payment for acquisition of patent. Okay, there is no mention at all about patent. Kita tak ada cerita langsung tentang pembelian patent. Tetapi value patent tu telah meningkat dengan banyaknya. Ya, value patent telah meningkat dengan banyaknya daripada kosong hingga meningkat menjadi 47.28. Jadi 47.28 itu adalah acquisition of patent. Ya, 47.28. Okey. Kemudian acquisition of investment property. Acquisition of investment property also not mentioned in the question. The opening balance is 7.5 and the closing balance is 75.05. So we can simply compare the opening balance and closing balance, and the difference is 67.55. That is acquisition of investment property. And then we have also dividend from other investment. Okay, dividend from other investment. How do we know that the value is 7.54? Okay, we look at the statement of profit or loss. Dividend from other investment 7.54, and there is no mention about balance brought down or balance carried down of investment income. Okay, so from there we know that the amount of 7.54, yeah, 7.54 is actually dividend from other investment received. And then dividend received from associate. So for this one, we have to check our associate account. Yeah, we have to check our associate account. What is the opening balance? What is the closing balance? Okay. Okay, here. The opening balance of investment in associate is 26.5. Yeah, 26.5. And the carried down balance is 26.67. It looks like a small change. A small change from 26.5 to 26.67. Nampak macam 0.17 saja perbezaan dia. Tetapi sebenarnya bukan itu. Ya, sebab apa? Sebab kita ada other information. Other information whereby the share of profit from associate is 1.25 from the statement of profit or loss, and we have also acquisition of new associate amounting to 25 million. 25 million. So altogether, the balance brought down plus share of profit plus acquisition is 52.75, and the credit side must also be 52.75. But the carried out is only 26.67. So from there we know that there is a cash dividend of 26.08. Even though the figure is not logical, kan? Dibayar dividen banyak sangat tu, 26.08 juta. Tapi macam kita tak boleh nak kata logik tak logik, because okay, yeah, because it is up to the associate, to pay. Tapi kalau ikutkan memang tak logik lah. Share of profit dia cuma 1.25 saja. Kemudian dia bayar dividen sampai 26 juta. Okey, banyak sangat tu. Tapi kita tak perlu nak pertikaikan dah yang ini. Because we are preparing consolidated statement of cash flow, this is the way on how to prepare. So investment in associate cash dividend is 26.08. Okay, kita masukkan 26.08 kat situ. Kemudian last sekali adalah investment in associate. Investment in associate, we know that the company incurred 25 million for the investment in associate. So, cash flow from investing activities, kita dapat net cash outflow of 173.41 million. 173.41 million. And lastly, we analyze the cash flow from financing activities. Okay, so from financing activities, we need to know whether there is an increase in share capital, there is an increase in NCI, there is an increase in debentures. Jadi kita tengok masing-masing, kita tengoklah dalam kita punya ordinary share capital ada tak increase? Ada increase banyak tadi kan? Ada increase banyak. Okay, kita tengok. Ordinary share capital balance brought down is 480 million and balance carried down is 704 million. How come it is increased a lot? Perbezaan ni sampai 200,000 lebih. Okey, jadi apa yang berlaku sebenarnya? Yang pertama, peningkatan tadi disebabkan oleh acquisition of subsidiary by paying 130 million. 130 million ordinary share tadi. Dia beli pandan tadi. Pandan ke ataupun apa nama company tadi? Bukan Sekejap. Kita tengok apa nama subsidiary tadi. Is it Kenanga? Yes, Kenanga. Jadi dia beli Kenanga, dia bayar sebanyak 130 juta. Okey. Jadi kalau 480 campur 130 juta masih tak cukup lagi, 704. Ada tambahan lagi sebanyak 94. Jadi maknanya dia issue for cash, dia punya ordinary share sebanyak 94 million. 94 million. Okey. Jadi 94 million kat situ. 94 million ordinary share capital increase. Okey. Kemudian kita tengok pula non-controlling interest. Okay, non-controlling interest balance brought down is only 50. Balance carried down increased by 107 to 157. Okey, jadi apa yang berlaku sebenarnya? Yang berlaku adalah yang pertama, there is an acquisition of subsidiary amounting to 90 million and there is a profit attributable from SOPL 22 million. So altogether 50 plus 90 plus 22 is 162. Okay, kemudian carried down is 157. Jadi the difference between 162 and 157 is cash dividend of 5 million. Jadi cash dividend of 5 million ni logik lah. Okay, share of profit dia 22 untuk tahun semasa kan. Kemudian dia bayar dividen 5. Okay, logik. Okay, logik ya. Dan last sekali kita nak tengok dividend paid. Dividend paid dia based on retained profit. Based on retained profit brought down 149.5. 149.5. Then carried down to 100. So perbezaan dia sebanyak 50.5. Apa yang berlaku? Okey, yang berlaku adalah ada pertambahan profit yang kita dapat daripada SOPL sebanyak 64. Jadi 149.5 plus 64 equal to 213.5. Sedangkan kita punya carry down adalah 200. So kita ada cash dividend sebanyak 13.5 million. Okay, 13.5 million. Jadi tiga angka tadi kita bawa naik ke dalam financing activities. Kita bawa naik dalam financing activities. Proceeds from issue of shares 94, payment of dividend by holding 13.5, dividend paid to NCI 5. Dan last sekali, increase in debentures. Increase in debentures. The debenture increase by 25. Okay, debenture increase by 25. Daripada soalan kita tengok debenture opening balance dengan closing balance. Debenture opening balance kosong. Closing balance 25 juta. Jadi maknanya dia increase by 25 million tu disebabkan oleh issue of debenture for cash. Okay. Jadi selepas kita masukkan 4 item tadi, kita dapatlah net cash inflow from financing activities amounting to 100.5 million. Okay. 100.5 million. Kemudian kita campurkan tiga-tiga, operating, investing dan financing. Operating 83.96, investing negative 173.41 and financing 100.5. So net cash increase. Net increase in cash and cash equivalent is 11 million. 11 million. Kemudian kita campur dengan cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the year sebanyak 27 million. So at the end of the year kita dapat cash and cash equivalent at the end of the year sebanyak 38 million. 38 million, dan kita boleh check lah opening balance dan closing balance tadi. Opening balance 27 million, closing balance 38 million. Kita check dekat soalan betul ke tidak. Betul ya. Jadi opening balance 32, closing balance 38. Itu bank. Tapi kita ada bank overdraft juga. Opening balance 5 dan closing balance 10. Kemudian kita juga ada short term investment yang qualify as cash equivalent. Okay. Jadi kita tengok dekat bawah tu, analysis of opening and closing balance. Ni dia. Okay. Jadi bank balance 2018 32, bank overdraft 5. So net dia adalah 27. Manakala 2019, bank 38, short term investment 10, bank overdraft 10. So it is 38. Okay, it is 38. Okay kelas, so inilah dia jawapan untuk statement of cash flow. Ya, jawapan untuk statement of cash flow. Ada apa persoalan? Jadi dalam video yang saya ada kongsikan tu, saya bincangkan soalan yang satu lagi lah, maknanya soalan yang latest, soalan bulan Februari 2022. Jadi bolehlah tengok video tu. Kat situ saya bincang satu set soalan daripada statement of cash flow sampai kepada full set of statement of financial position, statement of profit or loss and statement of changes in equity. Okey, ada apa persoalan tak untuk yang ni? Okey, kalau tak ada kita tengok sikit soalan 1B. 1B soalan 1B. 1B ni ada soalan teori Soalan teori yang ditanya dalam final exam. Okey, soalan 1B. The following situations are independent of each other. Explain whether the investor has or have joint control or significant influence over the investee company in the respective situation below. Okay, jadi berdasarkan kepada ilmu yang kita ada, okay, nombor 1 dengan nombor 2 tu adalah independent, tidak ada kaitan. Okay, whether the investor has or have joint control or significant influence. Okay, yang pertama, Orchid Berhad acquired 2 million ordinary shares of Lily Berhad. The number of issued ordinary shares of Lily Berhad is 6 million. Orchid has the ability to appoint 2 directors or 5 directors in Lily Berhad. Okey, jadi apakah ceritanya? Explain whether investor have or has joint control or significant influence. Jadi dalam kes ni dia ada apa? Control ke significant influence? 2 juta daripada 6 juta. 1/3. Kemudian boleh melantik 2 daripada 5 board of directors. So jawapannya nombor 1 ni dia ada significant influence. Ya, ada significant influence. Bagaimana pula dengan nombor 2? Harry Berhad, Omega Berhad, Torrent Berhad decided to form a company known as Cool Berhad. Harry, Omega and Torrent hold 25%, 35%, 40% respectively of the voting power in Cool Berhad. The contractual agreement among the investors is that at least 90% of the voting rights were required to execute decisions about relevant activities of Cool Berhad. Okay. Jadi, Harry, Omega dan Torrent ni, adakah mereka ada power? Okay. Adakah mereka ni ada power to control? Ataupun joint control? Okay, jawapannya mereka ni ada joint control. Sebab tidak ada salah satu daripada company yang boleh menguasai secara bersendirian. Kalau kita tengok, dia memerlukan 90%. Sedangkan kalau 40 campur 35 baru 75. 35 campur 25 baru 60. 25 campur 40 baru 65. Jadi mereka memerlukan ketiga-tiga sekali. So both three, Harry, Omega and Torrent, they have joint control over Cool Berhad. Okay. Jadi kita tengok jawapan yang dicadangkan. So ini dia jawapan dia. Sama tak dengan saya sebut tadi? Orchard Berhad has significant influence in Lily Berhad since Orchid can participate in decision making of Lily Berhad as it has been allowed to appoint 2 directors out of 5 directors. Okay. Jadi saya sebut jawapan tadi, jawapan yang apa yang kita nak saja. Tetapi jawapan tu kenalah panjang sikit sebab 2 markah. Kat bawah ni pula jawapan 3 markah panjang sikit lagi. Okay. Harry Berhad, Omega Berhad and Torrent Berhad have joint control in Cool Berhad because each entity has to be involved in decision making in Cool Berhad since at least 90% of the voting rights are required to make decisions about Cool Berhad. Itu soalan A, 1B, A1 dan A2. Kemudian soalan B pula. Soalan B, kita tengok dulu soalannya. B. Soalan B. The issued share capital of Eagle Berhad is 50 million ordinary share of RM1 each. On 1st January 2020, Mus Berhad acquired 20 million out of 50 million of ordinary shares in Eagle Berhad. The remaining shares are held by numerous shareholders and the majority of them does not attend the AGM and do not cast their votes to elect the members of the board of directors. Mus Berhad has nominated 4 new directors out of 6 members of the board of directors. 4 daripada 6. Dengan 40% interest saja dia boleh melantik 4 daripada 6. With reference to relevant MFRS, discuss the relationship between Eagle and Mus Berhad. Jadi kalau melihat kepada perlantikan 4 daripada 6 tadi, maka Mus ni menguasai Mus menguasai Eagle dengan penguasaan 4 daripada 6 members dalam board of directors. Kemudian yang kedua, identify who should be responsible for preparing the consolidated financial statement. Jadi siapa yang nak kena prepare? Yang nak kena prepare adalah the company who has the control. So siapa ada control? Mus ada control. Ya. Okay, kita terus kepada jawapan dia. Okay. With reference to MFRS 10, consolidated financial statement, the presence of control determines whether a parent subsidiary relationship exists. Ownership of more than 50% is not the only indicator of existence of control. An investee may deem as a subsidiary even if the percentage of voting rights held by the investor is less than 50%. In the case of investment in Eagle Berhad, Mus Berhad is deemed to have control over Eagle since it is able to appoint the majority members of the board of directors 4 out of 6, although its interest is only 40%. Since Mus is the parent of Eagle Berhad, therefore Mus Berhad should be the one who responsible to prepare the consolidated financial statement. Okay, dan kita tengok last sekali untuk C. Okay, C1 dan 2 ni. Kita tengok soalan dulu. Okay, soalannya C1 dan 2 Ryan. Laju pula. Ryan and Sulaiman. Ryan and Sulaiman establish a joint arrangement. Joint arrangement boleh jadi joint operation, boleh jadi joint control ya. Tiara Berhad. A separate vehicle and each owns 50% of the equity shares. The legal form of the separate vehicle states that both parties, Ryan and Sulaiman, have rights to the asset and obligation of the liabilities of Tiara Berhad. Jadi kalau kita tengok kat sini, dia ada apa dia? The rights to the assets and obligations for the liabilities. Maknanya dia sepertilah dianya adalah joint operation. The contractual terms of the joint arrangement state that Ryan has the right to all the building asset and the obligation to pay all the third party debt in Tiara Berhad, and then Ryan and Sulaiman have right to all other assets in Tiara Berhad and obligation for all other liabilities in Tiara Berhad in proportion to their equity. And the financial information of Tiara is as follows. Bank 60 million, building 300 million, machinery 40 million, other debts 300 million, employee benefit 40 million, equity 60 million. So macam mana kita nak agihkan? Okay. The Malaysian Financial Reporting Standard MFRS 11 Joint Arrangement and MFRS 1 to 8 Investment in Associate and Joint Venture classify joint arrangement into joint operation and joint venture. So number 1, identify the type of joint arrangement for the above case. Saya pilih joint operation sebab apa? Sebab ya kedua-duanya Ryan and Sulaiman tadi dia menguasai asset dan liabilities. Ya, menguasai asset dan liabilities. Jadi asset dan liabilities tadi ada yang ditentukan. Yang ni siapa punya, yang ni siapa punya. Kemudian bakinya dia jointly control dia punya asset. Kemudian yang kedua, prepare statement of financial position in the book of Ryan Berhad showing the amount from investment in Tiara Berhad only after establishing the joint arrangement above. Jadi 5 markah ni kat sini yang pertama kita nak identify sama ada joint operation ataupun joint control. Jawapannya joint operation. Kemudian yang kat sini bila kita dah tahu dia joint operation, maka kita akan agihkan aset tu mengikut pembahagian yang ditentukan di dalam perjanjian. So, kelas ni kita tengok jawapan dia. Kita tengok jawapan dia last. So, oh ni soalan. Soalan. Nak tengok jawapan. Okay, this is a joint operation. Accordingly, Ryan and Sulaiman Berhad account for their right to the asset and their obligations of liabilities relating to Tiara Berhad according to MFRS 11 joint arrangement or the relevant MFRS of the asset and liabilities. Okay, kemudian account of Ryan dan current asset, dia menguasai building sebanyak 300 semua sekali, machinery 20. Current asset bank 30. Okay, liabilities ada debt semua sekali, employee benefit 20. Jadi ini mengikut perjanjian, mengikut perjanjian yang telah dibuat di antara Ryan dan Sulaiman, di antara Ryan dan Sulaiman. Okey kelas. Jadi begitulah contoh contoh soalan untuk final exam. Jadi saya tak sempat nak tengok soalan apa. Soalan 1A tu panjang soalan dia. Jadi untuk soalan 1A tu saya dah contohkan satu video untuk soalan pada semester lepas ni. Jadi hari ini adalah kelas yang terakhir, walaupun awak masih boleh hubungi saya lagi nak tanya apa-apa pun boleh lagi. Jadi saya minta maaf lah kepada awak semua sekiranya ada berlaku kesilapan dan kesalahan daripada pihak saya. Okey, dan saya pun maafkan awak semualah. Okey. Jadi ada apa persoalan nak tanya sebelum kita berakhir? Tak ada Okeylah, jadi sekiranya ada boleh hubungi saya lah. Sebenarnya ramai juga yang menghubungi saya melalui WhatsApp Okey, jadi bolehlah kalau ada apa-apa boleh hubungi saya. Okey. So kita akhiri, semoga semua berjaya lah dalam peperiksaan kali ini untuk semua subjek. Okey. Kita akhiri kelas kita pada hari ini dengan surah Wal-Asr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, Prof.